What's up guys, it's Chadlantis, and this is the map rundown for Rusted Lands, which is the worst PvP map made in ever for the game of Destiny for Trials of Osiris. I'm going to do my best this week to not chew out this map because I freaking hate it. All parts about it are terrible. For instance, you can divide this map into 4 basic sections. We have this top corner, which is A cap. We have this other top corner, which is B cap. This bottom right corner, which is C cap. And this bottom left corner, which is like Alpha Spawn and Water Tower area. It's the unbalanced and awkward map because water spawn has nothing here for water tower and alpha spawn, whereas you have A cap, B cap, C cap. So even for control, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Plus, this orange circle right here is the objective capture for this map, so people spawning on Bravo spawn can just go straight over objective, sit on it, and just hard scope and camp it and wait. And that's it. They just get there first, and there's easy ways of protecting all corners and all locations from the map. So honestly, without joking around, the actual best strategy for this map is to sit with tier 5 supers for supers like Sunbreaker, Nova Bomb, Stormcaller, or Gunslinger. Use those roaming or instant super for long range with the Nova Bomb, and hard scope, head glitch, wait, pick people off if they push you, and if they don't, you have winning superiority with a tier 5 super. As always, be sure you memorize or at least get an idea of what the callouts are for this map. There's kind of a bunch of random crap everywhere, which is another reason why I hate this map so much. There's a lot of tanks, pipes, and stairs everywhere, so just calling stairs or just calling pipe isn't really a good option. So you can distinguish things such as pipes here, or B tank, or we have half pipe, A stairs. We have C stairs over here, but we have C inside stairs and C outside stairs. Then we have ramp stairs, which is what I call it, but it's also just a ramp, even though this map actually lists it as stairs, which is a little weird to me. And then we have like B ramp, but also we can call those stairs, but then B stairs, but that's actually a ramp. It's just awkward, unfortunately, and you kind of have to just deal with it. I honestly have no idea why the map creator named this Poga, but regardless, definitely shout outs to Orion the Titan. You can't really see it because my body's in the way. Here we go. Here we go. I got you. Where's my lever? Where's my lever? Here we go. Hey, there we go. Orion the Titan. Shoutouts to him, Reddit user. He actually creates a lot of these maps I've been using lately, and they're actually way better than the previous maps I had, so thanks, dude. Alright, so we have Alpha Spawn and Bravo Spawn. In my opinion, Bravo Spawn has an advantage on this map because of what I dictated earlier about being able to camp objective faster than Alpha Spawn can get there. You have a lot of head glitches you can use for your advantage while camping it. And you can have 1 shotgun on your team with 2 snipers, which is what I think is the preferred loadout. You can definitely get away with 3 snipers on this team. I don't think having 3 shotguns is a very viable strategy. And 2 shotguns with 1 sniper is not very easy to pull off. But having 1 shotgunner sitting around B cap or objective, and having 1 sniper look out towards B field and top field, whatever, and then having 1 sniper just guarding from on top of the heavy ammo box building thing, and then just looking around C area on radar, and just call out where the location is of the enemy team. You'll be able to just sit there and hard scope and shoot them coming in through this door or coming around this corner. Or if they push on B side, they'll come either through this door or around this corner. See what I'm saying? 2 very distinct locations people have to come from, and you can easily tell where they're coming from based on your radar from a long range. If you're feeling really frisky, you can go through tunnel, but the nickname for that is suicide or suicide tunnel. The reason why it's called suicide is because it's very easy to die in that tunnel. It's a very low headroom, and you have to go a long distance to get out of there. It takes a long time therefore to get out, and there's no maneuverability. So if you get caught in the tunnel, you're pretty much dead. So my first advice for you is don't go through suicide tunnel unless you absolutely know you can get through it safely. If you think other people on the other side of the tunnel, is very risky, and I do not advise going through it. A big reason for this is not only can they snipe you with hard scopes or gun you down with primaries as you come through this tunnel, but they can also shotgun you from this ramp here or B tank as you're coming out of the tunnel. You have no idea exactly where they are, but they know exactly where you're coming from. Or if you go on the other side, they can snipe you from great on top of heavy. They can sit with shotguns on the side walls here or on top of this ledge right here, and they can obviously use primaries as well from these locations. It's very obvious based on radar exactly where you're coming from, so it's insanely risky to go through the tunnel. So unless your teammate's calling out that they're all at C or they're all at A cap or something that aren't peeking out through this window here, something like that, then don't go through tunnel whatsoever. Only do if you're like 3v1 chasing and the person is not getting chased through the tunnel, because one common thing people do is after you run through tunnel really fast, if you lose sight of them and they're barely getting through tunnel, they do a really quick turnaround and try to snipe you as you're chasing them through tunnel, and now you are the fish in the barrel. So just be very cautious as you're using this middle transportation here. Head glitches to look out for in this map. People use rubble right here as a huge head glitch looking over to B stairs. People also use B stairs as a pretty significant head glitch looking at rubble and looking at the heavy top area. area over here. Another pretty insane head glitch is right here on the ramp looking up to the mini room. I call it green room personally because it's a green room. And there's a few considerably small rooms on this map that could be ambiguous if I say mini room, and my carries don't understand exactly what that call out is. They could mean this mini room right here. It could be the mini room under next to the objective. It could be the mini rooms near the B heavy, or like a mini room under the C capture. So it's ambiguous. There's also a mini room here at the special box and stuff. So I don't call it mini room. I call it green room because that's the only green room aside from A cap, but everybody would just call that A cap. Another head glitch, speaking of A cap, is right near this broken window. There's some awkward rubble right here in the corner that you can shoot through. You can barely see their head, but they can easily see you towards the ramp and on this top C area next to the alcove window. So be cautious when you're going into sniper lanes or pathways that are visible from those known head glitches that I just point out. Very easy to get sniped from those locations, and it's very hard to kill people who are sitting at those locations hard scoping you through the head glitch. And if you don't know what a head glitch is, that means that in the game of Destiny, as well as some other various games, if somebody looks barely over a ridgeline, basically the game registers their gun to be at the head level of like their forehead instead of their actual upper body level. So they don't need this entire upper body level to be over the ridge to be able to shoot you like they would realistically. Instead, because of game coding, they can just look barely at like the forehead level to where all you can see of them is that very tip of the forehead, but in their view, they can see you clearly and shoot you clearly as well. My general strategies from Bravo spawn, because I am a sniper for this map, I go right here next to the C cap because on this outside wall on the lower side, to the very left of this corner pillar, you'll be able to snipe all the way up into mini or green room. A lot of people will jump up into green room and either run past the doorway really fast, or they might even stand in the doorway here and try to snipe towards this ramp or something. If people stand way up there, you'll be able to get to this location faster than they can get to green room from alpha spawn, so you'll be able to get the advantage and be prepared and ready for somebody coming into the doorway and shoot them in the head before they can react, because you know exactly where they're coming out of the doorway. Yet people going up to the green room won't exactly know if you're on the ramp, if you're in this doorway, if you're on here in the pillar, or if you're way back near the truck. And as I explained before, if you know where they are and they don't know where you are, you have the advantage, because especially in sniper battles, half a second of being able to figure out where somebody is means that you're probably going to die, because it takes less than half a second to pull the trigger on your controller. So practice from Bravo spawn jumping right over to this lower pillar location just to the left of it and crouch next to it and get a hard scope all the way up to this green room doorway. Practice that, and if you get used to it, you'll be able to get quick picks off of people very easily. After I use that location from C, if I don't get a quick pick, then I'll usually go look on top of the window near alcove on top, or on lower near the hallway, depending on if people are rushing me or not. Very key. If people are rushing you, sit back near C cap or sit with your team, or maybe rotate the B to try to deal with people rushing you. If they're not, then you can go for those snipes in this location that's fairly creative. If it feels a little sketchy to me, then I'll typically go over to B cap and try to make a play from top field, sniping down the street here. Or if it feels really sketchy and I don't feel like I can get a really significant angle on the other team and it's really risky for me, then I'll just play it safer on B cap and wait on radar to see if they get out of position and capitalize on the other team being out of position. One thing I really like to do is if the team is very aggressive on B rushing, they'll run all the way from alpha straight up to B through B door or something and go straight over to try to control the objective area. Then I'll stand on here on top heavy, and snipe people are guaranteed going to be going up these B stairs here. You also have an angle on tunnel, and as I said before, once somebody goes down the tunnel, you pretty much get the kill on them. My general strategies for alpha spawn is I'll run straight up towards the C location and try to push on them, because a lot of people like to sit around beach and just hard scope all day. So if I get top of C spawn, I have a lot of angles I can work with to try to shoot at them. They'll usually just be standing way out in the open out here, just trying to hard scope down at C spawn, where I have a lot of obstacles to use as cover, and I can either snipe from top of C, I can stop down low of C through the doorway near that pillar I talked about earlier, or I can just jump over to Poga and play around Rumble and B heavy cap area. And if I know nobody's on radar towards B, then I'll have a lot of angles I can play with as additionally onto people that's sitting around beach area. If it seems like being aggressive for C spawn doesn't work out, then I'll typically go over to B spawn and try to get an angle either from top B special on B stairs, or going under the B ramp towards objective area and try to snipe towards the B heavy or something. Basically what I'll do from both alpha and Bravo spawn is I'll use those typical strategies for locations, and if a team is doing a really good job at just sitting there and hard scoping both locations, which people are really easily able to do on this map, which is another reason why I hate it, then I'll just dance around the map constantly until I feel comfortable based on radar radar positions that they are not going to be hard scoping that location they're coming from, and that can push another creative angle to be able to get an advantage on them. One example is from Alpha Spawn. If somebody goes over to Bravo Spawn and captures B area, if I'm pushing over to B and trying to get an angle on them and I see that they're all on radar on B, then I'll quickly rush immediately over to C and try to stand right on top of here on this platform, and you'll be able to shoot all the way up to this top of B ramp near B special. Some people will stand there and hard scope and you get a quick angle on them there. And if I don't get that angle really fast, then I'll immediately keep running over to top of B heavy and get an angle from there, or at Rebel. Use the head glitch at Rebel or go on top of B heavy. Usually people are not expecting to move that fast across the map for that quick angle on the flank. But that's a fairly risky play if you're not ready for it, because if you see on radar that they're kind of pushing back towards you, you immediately need to get out of there and get back to your team. This is a kind of strategy that I would only use if the other team is doing a really good job of camping and stopping all of our entryways, because at that point you basically have to try to find a quick, rapid, creative angle to get an advantage on the other team. Otherwise, if you feel comfortable that your whole team's like sitting on tier 5 golden gun supers and their team's all blade dancers or something and they're just camping and just hard scoping angles, then just chill out and wait until you super, and then you just basically automatically win the round, especially if it goes to cap point, because you know exactly where they are and you can just shoot them down with your super. So it's okay to be patient on this map, but while you're sitting around being patient, be proactive and be creative trying to find angles without taking too many risks. Your radar is definitely your best friend on this map. And if you hear them going invisible so you can't use the radar during that time, that's okay. You can wait out invisibility. Just hear the activated invisibility. You can hear basically across the map, and then just count out like 10-15 seconds. By that time, invisibility should be gone. You can use radar again and try to find the angle. One thing I'd really look out for, alongside not going through a tunnel or suicide tunnel very often, is try not to go on top of water tower and get a quick snipe up there, because a lot of people are used to be able to jump on top of water tower and they'll immediately spawn on Bravo, go right next to the truck and just snipe over to the water tower through the doors down here, or they'll jump on top of this truck and snipe over this wall right here over to water tower. Sure, going on top of water tower is a great way of getting a quick angle on them, but they're already there waiting for you and they're ready faster than you can get on top of water tower. You can easily at least get body shotted. The only subclass I would suggest maybe doing water tower with would be Night Stalker, because once you look at them, you see that you don't get a quick snipe off, you can immediately shade step off the water tower. All other subclasses require a jump, and jumping on the water tower leaves you still vulnerable to getting body shotted, especially at the feet level from people sniping on top of truck or through this bottom doorway. And as I explained before, jumping up to this green room to try to snipe through the doorway is also a bad option, because people can easily set up and get ready for you faster than you can from Alpha Spawn getting into the green room. I've seen a lot of people in Alpha Spawn camping A room. It works out sometimes if people are being aggressive towards them, but it's generally pretty bad to camp there because there's 3 ways you can get in. That means there's also no way you can get out because people are going to watch all 3 locations that you're trying to get out from. And not only that, but people can just sit on objective point anyway, and you'll have to eventually push out from A spawn towards them anyway. So people are basically wasting time just sitting around in tier 5 supers, I guess, from A spawn, but you're fairly vulnerable in there. People can leave in grenades, like skip grenades especially, and that will generally flush you out pretty easily, especially like action bolts too. So I would not suggest camping A spawn, I would not suggest going to green room for a snipe, and I would not suggest going on water tower. That on top of not suggesting going through suicide tunnel very often. And that's if you're on alpha spawn. What I would look out for Bravo spawn is if the other team seems very aggressive, do not sit near this window area near alcove on the top level. It's very easy for people to run up to alcove and jump up and shotgun you, or snipe you from this platform, or snipe you from A cap head glitch as I explained earlier, or just throw grenades to flush you out from there, with especially lightning grenades and trip mines. Skip grenades work really well in that location as well. I would also not suggest standing out on the beach in the wide open, completely exposed, trying to hardscope people. That's typically a bad idea. And if you get sniped out there and taken down, it's very hard for your team to recover your orb. So you're probably going to stay dead for this round, forcing your team into a 2 versus 3. One thing about this map for heavy spawns is it's very hard to push heavy spawns on this map because the map is so freaking big that you basically have to sprint straight to the heavy to get there in time. If I'm from Bravo spawn, typically will never push heavy on alpha heavy unless I have like a blade dancer or other offensive super that I can use on my disposal, or if I just completely don't expect the other team to be able to play well enough to counter me. Because from Bravo spawn, you basically have to sprint straight to the A heavy, and people can easily just stand around here and hard scope on this left side of water tower and the right side of water tower. They'll be able to shoot you down on your way in, and if you be very cautious on your approach to make sure you don't get headshot on the way in, then you already took too long. They'll be able to pick up heavy, and then suddenly you're trying to snipe out people at rocket launchers. launchers. So unless you have a super, I don't suggest pushing for heavy from Bravo spawn. Just have scouts out and make sure they're not pushing you, and then get your own heavy. From Alpha spawn, I do have an easier time pushing on Bravo heavy when I don't have a super. So from Alpha spawn, I'll typically run straight to C cap, snipe into the A cap heavy from the doorways over to people standing around great, or standing inside of Poga sniping into the heavy. It seems like a really risky tactic, but surprisingly it works out very often. A lot of people just stand next to the heavy and then just sit there waiting to pick it up, and you'll just dome them right in the head. Definitely, if you have stuff like skip grenades, wombo combos, action bolts, stuff like that, definitely throw them into the freaking heavy areas. Very easy to flush people off from getting their heavy box. And generally, outside of sniping, that's probably the only thing you'll have time to do before they pick up their heavy box themselves. And if you do play heavy on this map, remember that air superiority is key. That applies to all maps, but I don't think I've ever reminded you of that in the past, so I like to do so right now. If you have rocket launchers, being higher than your opponent gives you a huge edge over them. Especially if you're not rocking a truth, it's really easy to shoot at another person who's below you, whereas if they're above you, it's kind of hard to aim it. You don't know exactly what the trajectory is, you don't know exactly what the blast radius it is for like grenades, horseshoes. God forbid you don't have grenades and horseshoes because you have to hit them right on target. So especially if you don't have that perk on your rocket launcher, make sure you're above them or at least on even level with them to try to shoot the ground or wall near them. Obviously shooting a roof is good too, but this map, especially in heavy rounds, people are typically not inside an enclosed building, so you're just going to whiff the rocket right next to them and go straight out into the skies. I definitely don't suggest a machine gun on this map because a lot of people run rocket launchers and it's very easy to jump on obstacles like walls and stuff like that to get that air superiority on you. Generally in trials though, I probably would always suggest running a rocket launcher instead of a light machine gun. It's almost always a better option. Light machine gun is amazing as people who don't have heavy, but if they have heavy as well, they can just jump around corners, shoot a rocket at you really quick and keep going. You'll be able to have time to shoot them down with the light machine gun, but that rocket's coming right at your face. I hope this map rundown and general strategies, plus the little tips and tricks, helped you in your trials passage this weekend. Good luck playing the worst designed PvP map ever in the history of competitive PvP. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy this content. If you have questions, comments, concerns, or praise, leave a comment below in this video. Hit me up on Twitter at Chadlantis TV, or check out my live Twitch channel where I do trials carries for viewers, twitch.tv/Chadlantis. As always, citizens, thank you so much for being you, and thank you for watching.